So it appears to be confirmed that Ukrainians have shot down two very, very important Russian planes. This article was in Forbes last night, and so this was one of the earliest reports of it. Ukrainian air defenses reportedly shot down two of the Russian Air Force's rarest and most valuable command aircraft on Sunday. And we're going to talk about why they're valuable and what they do exactly and how difficult they are to replace. A-50 radar early warning plane, that's somewhat equivalent to our AWAC, and an Aleutian IL-22 airborne command post. Okay, so it seems at the very least that the IL-22 suffered damage, and we're not exactly sure what's happened with that from the sources that I've seen, according to the Kyiv Independent. So, word translated, Dmitry was one of the first on the scene getting this out there, and so I saw this on Twitter. Actually, my first source was seeing Anna from Ukraine, and Anna had this in my feed, and this is how she started it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Here we go.
Hello guys, and this is actually the first vlog in my life I record in pajamas, but I'm ready to do it even more often as long as I have the updates like this one. It is very likely that Ukrainian air defense systems destroyed an extremely rare Russian plane of early warning and control A-50 and partially destroyed IL-22. These are really good news, so let me tell you more. My name is Anna and I've logged in from Ukraine.
I'm just showing you the introduction. You can watch the rest of what she had to say, but she was early. She was right on the spot. I want to give her props for being one of the first out there, which is what I try to do when I see, like, hey, I got this from this person or that person or the other. Okay, let's get back to what Dmitry had to say. Dmitry was one of the first out on Twitter, and in fact, it was even here a few hours ago, was in that Forbes article. A few hours ago, someone apparently attacked two Russian aircraft over the Azov Sea, A-50 early warning and control, and IL-22M command and control aircraft. The former is claimed to be now scuba diving, and we weren't sure about the second. A little while later, he kind of corrected himself, or not corrected, but put this out where he said, all right, perhaps I was a bit too hot-headed with that most likely, but the rumors like that often prove to be quite real in this conflict. You don't have to tell me about that. It's easy to get something wrong, and you try to do your best to verify and double check and make sure, and you know, like, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt, and most likely is most likely. Like, this is what it appears to be, and so you're just reporting what it appears to be, even through the fog of war. Well, even with that being said, again, he said, still a bit ambiguous, but fighter bomber seems to confirm the loss of a Russian A-50 aircraft over Azov Sea yesterday. And then, if you need the gold standard, here's Operator Starsky saying that both Russian and Ukrainian sources confirm that the Russian AWACS A-50 airplane and IL-22 Fighting Command Center were hit by the Ukrainian surface-to-air missiles. So let's talk about the A-50 aircraft. The A-50 aircraft is an airborne early warning and control, like AWAC kind of platform, designed for monitoring targets in the air, on the ground, at sea, and for guiding fighter aircraft toward them. This is just, if you just Google A-50 or A-50 and AirWAC and that kind of thing. Let's read a little bit more about it. Here is Euromaidan Press and what they have to say. A Bereev A-50, NATO reporting name is Mainstay, is one of Russia's most valuable assets. It's a Soviet-era airborne early warning and control aircraft, AWACS, based on the Aleutian Il-76 transport airplane. In total, between 30 and 40 of these were produced as of 1992. According to Military Balance, Russia only had 9 operational aircraft of this kind as of 2022. And we see that same thing in the Forbes article a little bit below. The Russian Air Force has just 9 A-50M and upgraded A-50Us. Okay, so you just took out one of 9, and they have to replenish, and they have to use this to coordinate who's going to be shooting what from where as the fighters are attacking and shooting their missiles into Ukraine. So this is a good day for Ukraine. Okay, the alleged Again, this was yesterday when this first came out. The alleged shoot-down reportedly occurred just 10 minutes after the IL-22 got hit. The IL-22 is the command plane. If the Ukrainians indeed struck both the Il-22 and A-50, Sunday would mark, listen to this, the single worst day for the Russian Air Force in the 23 months since Russia widened its war in Ukraine. Worse than the day back in December when Ukrainians shot down 3 Russian Sukhoi fighter bombers in a complex missile ambush over the southern Ukraine. If the shootdowns did occur, now if the shootdowns did occur, most likely those kind of things are said correctly because, again, the fog of war, we're trying to understand. We don't know that we have all the facts, but we're presenting them as we know them, given what we understand. It vanished from radar and stopped responding to aviation communication. Subsequently, a Russian Su-30 pilot observed a fire and the descent of an unidentified aircraft. So it's probable that this was it, and where did it happen or where was it shot from? The distance here is 115 kilometers just to here. So how far out was it? You can look at a radar, and I'm going to show you the radar of where it was flying in just a moment. Okay, so what is A-50? A-50 can control up to 10 fighter aircraft for either air-to-air intercept or air-to-ground attack. So when I say control, I mean they're technologically doing the guidance and the radar and making sure that things are on target, that sort of thing. The other plane is kind of the command center plane to be in charge of it. But okay, at any rate, let's look at, here's a Kyiv Post, a quick guide to Russia's downed A-50 and Ilyushin Il-22M command planes. So Ukraine's military intelligence directorate has confirmed 2 high-value Russian airborne command aircraft were shot down on Sunday evening, cutting into the Kremlin's ability to see the situation in the air. Again, why is this important? Because they only have so many of these. They can't reproduce them. They're heavy on electronics. Getting the sanctioned parts would be difficult. They're going to have to maybe cannibalize from others or move another air asset from somewhere else in the country over there, which means that they're leaving themselves vulnerable in other places. Okay, they're expensive to produce because of the heavy use of electronics and other modifications to support its radar and other sensors, and a large array of radios and other communication equipment. The large flight crews represent many years of extensive experience, making such losses even more significant. So remember, you're also losing the crew in the plane as well. The A-50 serves a role similar to the U.S. AWAC, that's Airborne Warning and Command System. Its reported cost per aircraft is a massive $330 million, and that's before any modifications. Because they have very long-range radar and search capability, they can share picture in broadcast to all airborne combat aircraft and assist fighter aircraft in completing intercepts and engagement of adversary aircraft through more direct communication. So they can kind of help them identify targets, make sure they're hitting the right targets, kind of coordinate all those functions. Okay, now the Ilyushin Il-22M is a different aircraft. It's the command post. The Ilyushin 22 airborne command post was also damaged in an attack and forced to make an emergency landing at Anapa in the Russian side of the Sea of Azov. Okay, the Il-22 is part of a small fleet of up to 12 aircraft, so there's only 9 of the AWACS and 12 of the Il-22s. Used for both airborne command and control and radio relay tasks. This has played an important role in controlling Russian forces in their war in Ukraine. So you really just hit them where it hurts. As high-value assets, they have operated within the safety of Russian airspace, far beyond the range of Ukrainian air defense systems. Well, until now. The UK Ministry of Defense assessed the loss as being significant. The Il-22 is part of a relatively small fleet of up to 12 aircraft utilized for both airborne command and control and radio relay tasks. So both of these are huge losses. Now I want to show you just this. This was Ukrainieska Pravda in English. The downed A-50 radar detection plane cost $350 to $500 million. The $500 million figure is like with all kinds of modifications or upgrades. Russia can't replace it in the near future. They can't just overnight crank one of these things out. It would take a long time, so they're going to have to move some other asset somewhere else. This loss for the Russian air fleet is comparable to the sinking of the Moskva flagship, $750 plus million, and adding a second command plane to the cost can exceed the Moskva. So I'm not sure about the figures, but it is big. It's huge. Okay, so last little bit. Here is Noel reports. Commander-in-Chief Zaluzhny also posted the message in regard to the downed aircraft. The Air Force of Ukraine destroyed an enemy A-50 long-range radar detection aircraft and an enemy IL-22 airborne control center. I think the Air Force. But here's what's really interesting about this. You can watch the flight pattern here, and you can see them. You can see them being tracked, and then one disappear. Okay, watch this. Look at it. You see it. Now you see it. Now you see it, and now you don't. Did you see that right here? Okay. Let's go back. Now you don't. One more time. You see it, and now you don't. It just disappeared over the Sea of Azov. So that's what's happened, and it's really, really amazingly significant. Okay, tell me what you thought about this. Help us understand as a community. If you know more about this, put that in the comments below, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.